Welcome to another edition of SolidNotes by DesignPoint. My name is John Shuey. I'm an applications engineer with DesignPoint, and today we're going to talk about DesignTables, and we're calling this DesignTables 101. So, what are DesignTables? DesignTables are Excel spreadsheets that can be used to build or modify configurations of parts and assemblies. So because they're Excel-based, they can become very powerful tools that can save us a lot of time. So the next question should be, when should I be using a design table? Some examples, you're creating parts with multiple configurations and you often need to change certain dimensions. If it takes a long time to create parts because of all the configurations you need to make, maybe you find it cumbersome to modify your assemblies to suppress items or change configurations of parts and sub-assemblies. Maybe you want to easily modify your assembly and then be able to put it back the way it was, or maybe you just you find configuration tables are not limited. They're just limited for the things that you want to do. So, what's the best way to create a design table? We're going to break this down into 3 easy steps. First one is create 2 configurations of your part or assembly the manual way. So just make them. And then the next thing you need to do is consider what parameters you want to be able to control with the design table and make those changes the manual way to one of the configurations. And the last thing we want to do is we want to auto-create the design table. So 3 nice, simple, easy steps. Let's go ahead and put those to the test. So we're going to start off with a part. So let me switch to that guy. Here we go. Okay, so I have this really simple washer. It's made up of 1 feature. It's got 3 dimensions here, thickness, an inner diameter, and outer diameter, and it has a material of ABS. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to create my second configuration as we said in step 1. I'm just going to call this new. And it's going to ask me, the material is different than the existing appearance. Would I like to display, link display states for that? We're just going to hit yes on that guy. And so there's my new configuration, both exactly the same right now. So step 2 was make the changes, to everything that you want in one of the configurations. So I'm going to change the inner diameter and the outer diameter. So I'm going to change this guy to 5. And the real critical step here is to make sure that we specify that we want to change this in this configuration. So go ahead and do that there, and we'll do the same thing here. This configuration, change that to 10. So those 2 are changed, and I'm going to change the material as well, and we're going to change this to 6061 T6. All right, hit apply, hit close. We'll do a rebuild. There we go. We can see there's our 2 different configurations. Okay, so now we're on to step 3. So we're going up here to Insert, Tables, and then Design Table. So it's going to ask us for a source. We can do blank AutoCreator from file. So as we said, we're just going to do the AutoCreate. And then we have some other options down here. In this edit control, it's asking us, do we want to be able to drive our design table based on, if we make changes to edit, if we edit the model directly right from the model, as opposed to just editing editing our design table. Within the design table, we can, block changes if we need to, if we check this box right here. And then down here in the 3rd section, we can choose, what we want to add to the design table. If, say, we change something outside of the design table, there's a new parameter. So we want that to automatically be added. So we want new configurations to automatically be added. We can get a warning when it's updating the design table. And then there's a checkbox here to enable cell drop-down lists, which we're going to talk about a little later here. So we're just going to go ahead and hit the green check. And there it is. It automatically created the design table for us. We can see there's the config name, there's the description, there's color type as well, there's our 2 materials, and there's our inner and our outer diameter. So for convenience sake, if we just click out of this real quick, it automatically makes the design table go away. We can see it shows up here in our configuration manager, and if I right click on the table, I can click edit table, and it's going to open up just like it did initially. Or what I like to do is Edit Table, New Window, and then it's in a completely separate window for us. So we have our design table, and now I want to create a configuration. So I'm going to create a configuration that's called 8ID 16OD. Go ahead and resize that guy. And I'm not going to worry about description or color, but I want this to be ABS, so I'm just going to copy that guy right there. And the 8 and the 16 for the ID and OD. I'll go ahead and save this guy, close it. It's going to tell us, hey, the design table generate the following configurations. We hit OK. Now we can go ahead and we can jump to this guy. And we can see it automatically created that for us. So there's our 3 different configurations. So let's say I want to create multiple configurations at one time. Oh, so this is asking us, do we want to add this part number parameter? We're just going to hit OK and not worry about that right now. So let's say I have 10 ID, 20 OD, and I want a 15 ID and a 30 OD. Not going to worry about description or color, but I want this one to be aluminum, so I'm just copying this, and that one to be ABS, and then 10 and 20 and 15 and 30. All right, go ahead and hit save. We'll close. Once again, it's telling us both these configurations were created. And there we go. There's 10 ID and 15 OD with the materials, correlating as well. All right, let's say I want to add a different parameter. Let's say I want to add a thickness parameter. So I'm just going to double click, go ahead and edit this guy. And for this configuration, I'm going to say it's 3. Go ahead and rebuild. And let's go back into our design table, Edit Table, New Window. Here it is. It's telling us, hey, you changed this. Do you want to add this to your design table? And I do. So I'm going to go ahead and hit OK. So there it is. It added that row in there for us, and now we can easily just go in and edit, change these if we want to 1 or a 2.5, and save our design table, close out. And we can go ahead and jump through, and it changes that thickness for each of those. Okay, so let's talk about what if we want to add a feature to this. Let's say that I know that I want to add a chamfer relief here, for a bolt, because this is a washer. So I'll go ahead and do the chamfer and do 0.5 millimeter. That works. There it is. There's our chamfer. So I'll go ahead and Edit Table, a New Window. There it is. There's our chamfer, and it's the state. So we can choose on whether or not we want this new chamfer to be suppressed or unsuppressed. So let's see. Let me jump back here. So I'm in the new configuration, and it is unsuppressed. And you know what? I'm gonna put a U there as well. Whoops. And a U there as well. So now I'm gonna hit save and close. Now if I jump between my configurations, we can see that we can easily turn that on, the state of that chamfer on and off very easily. One last thing I want to show you guys here, and I mentioned the drop-down lists, and you guys might have saw that pop up here. So this is the drop-down list. We can see when I click on here, it's telling me, all the possible options that we can use. We can type in suppress, we can type in unsuppressed, we can use an S, U, 1, or a 0. They're all, that's going to be all the results. And then we can even, this is the actual drop-down list here where we can select those options. So each of these can possibly have an option. In this case, just that this feature does, but we could even add drop-down lists here if we wanted as well. Okay, so that was a part. Let's go ahead and do an assembly. So let me go ahead and switch over to my assembly. What I have here is I have a pneumatic cylinder, and essentially the pneumatic cylinder is just that guy right there. And what I have going on here is just a bunch of different things that we can put on, like different options that we might, sell or use this cylinder for our application. So there's some 90s. I have some straight fittings here as well. I have some flow controls. I have a right angle bracket for the bottom and a right angle bracket for the top, and then a misalignment coupling. So those are all the different possible things that I could possibly, all the different options. So I'm going to just go ahead and turn all those guys on, and just like, doing our process to create a design table, I'm going to go ahead and create another configuration. I'm going to call this one new again. I'm going to hit OK. And in this case, I'm going to suppress all these options. Hit save. And now I'm going to go. Now I've created my two configurations. I've changed all, all the parameters I want to change. I've changed them in the one particular configuration, and now I'm ready to go ahead and create my design table. So I'm going to go to Insert, Tables, Design Table. Same options as we had before, so I'm just going to go ahead and hit OK. And we can see here if I move that. So we're just going to click out of here. It'd be easier just to view the table in a new window. Scroll this guy over, and there we can see that all those different parts, I can change the suppression state where they can be resolved or suppressed. So let me close this here for a second, and I want to see my default configuration with all those parts in there. What I'm going to do is take that to the side, edit the table. Actually, nope. I want to add a table in a new window. And we'll drag that guy over there. Okay. So I'm going to create I'm just going to call this configuration 1. And I know that I don't need any 90 fittings on this guy. So we're going to go ahead and suppress those. But I know I want a straight fitting on the bottom. So this is straight fitting instance 1. That's that guy right there. So yep, that's the bottom. I'm going to resolve for that. And I don't need the other one, so I'm going to suppress that. And then I know I want a flow control up at the top. So we can suppress the first one, and I'll resolve the second one. And then I know I only want the bottom mount bracket, so we'll resolve the mount bracket and its attached bolts. We'll suppress the top one, and I know I want the misalignment coupling. So I go ahead and save that guy. We'll close this. It's telling us once again that it created that configuration. We'll hit OK. We'll maximize the window. And then if we go ahead and we jump to the new 1 configuration, everything exactly that we wanted is controlled there for us. So very, very easy to control the suppression state of components using a design table. So let's say you want to be able to control the configurations of components. So that washer that I had before, let me just drop that guy right in here. And right now it's going to be in all of our configurations because I just dropped it in there right now. So in the 1 configuration, let's say in this one, I'm going to change the configuration to new, and just in this configuration. So now if we jump to the other ones, yep, it's a different configuration. So now we can go ahead and edit our design table. It's going to say, hey, there's a new parameter for configuration for the washer design table. I'm going to go ahead and click OK. And there we go. Using our drop-down list, we can select the specific configuration that we want to show up in these configurations of our assembly. and just easily doing that, using these drop-down lists. So I go ahead and save, close out, and if we jump to our different configurations, we can see we've controlled the configurations of our washer in the different configurations of our assembly. Okay. So that's about it. That's DesignTables 101. I want to thank you guys for watching this video. If you have any comments, questions, or suggestions for future SolidNotes webinars, you can email me at jshuey@design-point.com. And remember, if you never need any kind of immediate assistance, you can use support at design-point.com. Once again, thanks for watching the video. Hope you guys find this helpful.